Thank you everyone for joining us today, yet for another webinar. I'm Anastasia, your account manager here at Zone&Co. I'm based in Amsterdam, and some of you might already recognize me from a previous webinar or know me as your previous customer success representative. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions related to your current contract, if you are wondering about any other solutions that we offer, and of course, feedback. I'm always keen to hear from you and know how you're doing. We will be hosting regular sessions such as this one, and we look forward to hearing your story, understanding how we can help you further, and just make sure that you're getting the most out of our solutions. So today we bring you some exciting news regarding ZoneCapture, along with Barbara and Justina. So on to you, Barbara.
Hello, everyone. My name is Barbara, and I'm working within Zone&Co as a solution consultant for already almost 2 years. And I'm based in a lovely Brno city in Czech Republic. And what will be my role today is to show you how our ZoneCapture and especially the new feature of three-way match looks like and what is beneficial for you when you decide to use it. What about you, Justina? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, sure. My name is Justina and I'm the product owner at Zone&Co. I'm based in the Netherlands, similar as Anastasia. And on the daily basis, I work to improve our product ZoneCapture with new features and enhancements. So today I'm available to answer your questions about three-way matching. So feel free to ask questions on the chat.
Thank you, ladies. So today, just to quickly go through the agenda, we will be looking at who we are as Zone&Co, focus on the changes our product team is bringing to ZoneCapture, looking at the previous feature capabilities and the new revamped version of this feature. We will have a demo bit as well as a live Q&A and an exciting sneak peek into the future of ZoneCapture. So feel free to ask questions in the chat as we go along. We are happy to address these throughout the session and also during the Q&A. So first things first, who are we? Zone&Co, an organization whose mission is to enhance your native NetSuite experience by making accounting and finance teams' life easier on their day-to-day AP processes. Our team is spread across the globe in over 10 countries and in 16 different time zones, but our goal is common: bring you the tools and support that allow you to make the most with Zone. When it comes to our solutions, we can help you in many ways. With Zone Billing, for instance, you can manage and automate your billing and revenue operations no matter how simple or complicated your business is. With Zone Approvals, anyone with or without NetSuite experience, and I speak for myself, can build, manage, and edit simple to complex workflows effortlessly. Less bottlenecks, less frustration, and complete visibility. Nice, right? And of course, the start of today's show, ZoneCapture, automatically scans and captures vendor bills and credits into NetSuite. Followed by Zone Reconcile for teams who are manually reconciling bank accounts. So rather than manually entering and matching every transaction line by line, Zone Reconciliation automatically creates and reconciles everything within one step in NetSuite. Then with Zone Payments, we easily integrate your payment gateways such as Stripe. Zone Reporting, the only pre-built Power BI reporting solution for NetSuite in the market, allowing you to automate reporting by 100%. And last but not least, with our most recent acquisition, Zone Payroll, an AWS solution developed and compliant for use across Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Canada. So if any of these spark your interest, feel free to reach out to us. We will be leaving our contacts in the end of the session, as well as in our follow-up. And now let's dive into ZoneCapture. So our customer's request was to eliminate clicks and have more control when comparing the purchase order, the invoice, and make sure these match. And our product team delivered. So for those who are working with purchase orders, we do have the challenge of billing a purchase order. So perhaps, Justina, you could tell us more about what is three-way match, how does this actually make an end user's life easier, and yeah, what is ultimately three-way match?
Yeah, thank you. So indeed, three-way matching is a concept that companies processing purchase order related vendor bills are for sure familiar with. So when creating such vendor bills as an accountant, you have three sources of truth. You have originally created purchase order in NetSuite. You have item receipt, if applicable, and a PDF invoice from your vendor bill. And based on this information, the actual vendor bill in NetSuite needs to be created. So three-way matching is to compare data from purchase order, supplier invoice, and good receipts to make sure they match. And as a product team, we wanted to make sure that ZoneCapture is fully supporting you in this process. So at the same time, we also took it into another level of automation. So it's also compatible with auto processing of bills connected to one purchase order, as this feature is also available in ZoneCapture.
As a current customer, if you are using a purchase order, you are likely already using our three-way match feature in ZoneCapture. Now we bring you the revamped version, so providing more value here. And allow me to ask again, Justina, our product owner, why did we come up with the new three-way match?
So our goal was to make three-way matching comparison process for accountants as clear and easy inside ZoneCapture as possible. So as described before, we have up to 3 sources of data when processing PO-related bills. So we wanted to make sure that accountants have all relevant information on one screen, so they can make a correct decision during processing of vendor bills via ZoneCapture. So this new feature brings more flexibility, as it has also configuration on 4 levels, what Barbara will show you soon. And it also gives you real-time insight into three-way matching results with possibility to adjust data manually. So comparing to our legacy logic, we also invested into improvement of matching algorithm. So we have higher chance to find a match between PO line and captured line. And on the top of that, we have also three-way matching comparison that is accessible already before you save the vendor bill. So you can make sure you're aware of the impact that you create when pressing save button on the vendor bills. And these results are also, of course, stored on the vendor bill, so they are available for any approver of the transaction to make the whole AP flow complete and smooth.
Great. And I'm thinking now, if someone is not yet using this purchase order in their process, or if not using three-way match yet, how do I benefit as an end user with using three-way match starting from now?
Yeah. So from one side, as a user processing vendor bills on a daily basis, first of all, if you use purchase orders with items and you at the same time use ZoneCapture for scanning bills, then three-way matching is a way to go, because our three-way match kicks in before the bill is saved. So exactly when you processing the bills, and we will help you to validate PO, receipt, and PDF invoice. So then you will definitely benefit from this solution. And on the other hand, as an approver of the vendor bill, using our three-way matching summary visible on bills created via ZoneCapture, you also have clear insight in, and you get a help in making approval decision.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Sounds great. So just before we dive in, and I do ask Barbara to show us around to see how this looks like in ZoneCapture. Request, Barbara, can you please recap for us? How does ZoneCapture work in short?
Of course, from the perspective of the process of ZoneCapture, we try to make it really easy. So you have now 4 steps in front of you, and everything, of course, starts with the fact that you are receiving the vendor bill to your standard AP addresses, and then you are forwarding these emails to our dedicated email addresses inside of the NetSuite. And of course, you have other option, maybe to drag and drop the PDF vendor bills directly into the application of ZoneCapture. Then the conversion of PDF documents into NetSuite bill recommendations happens. And that's thanks to the optical character recognition too. And we are creating the NetSuite bill recommendations inside of NetSuite. The next steps, of course, will be the validation process. So you will enter the NetSuite environment and you will start to review the transactions in the ZoneCapture incoming queue. The new 3-way match feature of ZoneCapture will help you to spot the eventual differences between the billable lines of the PO and the captured lines of the PDF by taking into consideration the item receipts, if applicable, as mentioned by Justina. All of this is indicated in one screen of the 3-way match pop-up window. And you are, of course, deciding if the bill is good to be saved and processed, or if any adjustment needs to be done prior saving the bill. Once you are happy with the vendor bill, you will hit on save. And if you might have some approval workflows kick it in, we will just follow that logic. Or even better, perhaps you are already using our other application, which is Zone Approvals. So in that case, please note that our ZoneCapture 3-way match is compatible with this application. In this case, if differences were spotted on the vendor bill, the ZoneCapture 3-way match summary can be used as a base for 3-way match of zone approvals to approve this particular PO-related vendor bill. But now what I believe is a perfect time to have a look onto our application in our NetSuite demo environment. So please allow me to share my screen and to talk about the 3-way match and how does it look like from the perspective of NetSuite. I will now share my screen. And you should all see my NetSuite home dashboard. When you are working with our application and you are processing your vendor bills, what you usually will do is that you would go to the incoming queue, and within the incoming queue, you would select a vendor bill, what you would like to process. With our ZoneCapture and the newest 3-way match, we will bring into this NetSuite bill recommendation page a 3-way matching button. However, for example, maybe now you are already using ZoneCapture, you are processing your PO-related vendor bills, maybe you have already even experience with the old 3-way match. However, this particular button is not populating on your NetSuite bill page. What you should do, of course, is to have your sandbox, if you are working with it, upgraded into the newest version. From the production accounts, you do not have to really care of it because as it is a managed bundle, our company is taking care of you. So all the production accounts are currently already upgraded into the newest version of our ZoneCapture. But when talking about the sandbox, if you would like to discover the feature or like to test it from your side to see what should and should not be enabled, you can easily check on which version of ZoneCapture your sandbox account is currently is, and it is under customizations, Suite Bundler, and list of the bundles. In here, you would see ZoneCapture, and the newest current version is 2.5.3. So if it's not the case, your admin should be able to upgrade it into the newest feature. Just for your information, the 3-way match new logic is available already from the version 2.4. However, if you would like to use the newest features such as inline editing and so on, this newest version is really important to have in your sandbox accounts also. Once you are on this current version, what you can do is that you need to bring it, of course, to the subsidiary. So the 3-way match needs to be also configured on the subsidiary level or on the main configuration of ZoneCapture level. When we're going back to the subsidiary as such, Of course, it's very easy to access it. ZoneCapture setup, subsidiary setup. And in here, you would select the subsidiary you want to work with or enable it for three-way match. We are currently working with the French subsidiary. So on the setup page, under the three-way matching subtab, you will see that you need to have the enable three-way matching option ticked. And once enabled, it will therefore bring you the mentioned three-way matching button to your netted bill creation page. There are some other options worth of mentioning, especially the enforce three-way matching on safe. You can, if you're not sure about the meaning of the feature, at any time you can click on the field, and our every time present field helpers will help you to understand the feature and maybe to read more about it and to decide if it is applicable for your company or not. So by enabling this option, I will show you the example once we are on the current examples I have ready for you. You or the user which will be processing the PO-related vendor bills will need to indicate the acceptance reason of the three-way matching on safe. The other option you might have when you want to bring the automation of the PO-related vendor bills into next level is also the auto-processing. So three-way matching feature of ZoneCapture is compatible with this even when dealing with the PO-related vendor bills. For that, you need to enable this option on the subsidiary, but also, of course, on that particular vendor. So when I open up my vendor I will be working with today, we will see that when talking about the auto processing under ZoneCapture portlet subtab, general settings, you have here the possibility to enable the vendor for auto processing PO-related bills. There are some other options for standalone bills also, or for standalone and PO-related vendor bills. So now in my use case, I was opting for PO-related bills only. And from the perspective of three-way matching setup, you should do that also. Three-way match setup is giving you the possibility of setting up some other parts which are taken into consideration when working with the PO-related vendor bills and with the three-way match as such. So when I go to the edit mode, three-way matching subtab, there are options for setting up thresholds, setups for quantity, rate, and amount. And the other options you have for quantities and rates is captured data prevails or purchase order data prevails. I will go into more details later on. Just maybe keep in mind that when dealing with the thresholds, you have two options, fixed amount or percentage. For our vendor, we are opting with fixed amount, and on the quantity also with the fixed quantity, which is 1, and a fixed rate, which is 5. We currently don't have any thresholds for amounts. The other options available to you in general and to consider, capture data prevails or purchase order data prevails, they are there for you to minimize the manual intervention if these use case scenarios are applicable for you on the vendor bills. But going back to the auto processing part, in my home dashboard, we have also processed this month queue. What does it mean? So if a vendor, let's say, is set up to auto-processing for PO-related vendor bills, this feature is available for vendor bills which are linked only to one purchase order, and there are some other conditions which needs to be met. When I name some of them, it is, for example, that all mandatory fields needs to be enabled, and so on. But you can read more about it, of course, in our knowledge base. So if this condition is being met, you would find the vendor bill directly under this purchase this month queue, and the purchase status would be indicated as transaction created automatically. You might realize that we have there some other options. Of course, that if the vendor bill, even if the vendor is set up for auto processing, cannot be processed automatically, we will not ignore it. It will just land in a standard incoming queue. Maybe this is also a good moment to mention that three-way match feature of ZoneCapture is also compatible with e-invoicing, meaning sending of e-invoices via a network. So just keep this in mind if maybe in the future this becomes needed for you and your company. Let me now talk about the other use case scenarios, because so far we've tackled only the very easy and very direct ones where we've auto-processed the transactions. However, if a transaction, as mentioned, was not processed automatically, or for example, as it is in other use case scenario, when, for example, the vendor bill has been linked with more than one purchase order, these transactions will therefore land in the incoming queue. In here, you can even see the status. So auto-processing failed for some of the transactions. The one which was linked with multiple POs is directly in ready for processing status. When I open up the first example of my vendor bill, why maybe this vendor bill couldn't be auto-processed. The reason is that sometimes it may occur that vendor bill in PDF format maybe contains more lines to be built than the particular PO. And it could be also one of the reasons why, therefore, it needs to be touched by the user. So here we are. This is the ZoneCapture split screen view, what I believe all of you know quite well. I'd like to make a comment on the PDF level. So as you see, we do have here like 5 lines on the document of the PDF, where on the NetSuite build part, we currently have 4 lines indicated. What your user would do is that they would enter the three-way matching, and they will standardly review this pop-up window. As said by Justina and Anastasia before, we are bringing you the 3 sources of truth within one screen of this three-way match pop-up window. And there are also some other parts which are worth to mention, such as the progress bars in the top part, showing you what is the current progress on the line matching and amount matching. As you see, we are not currently on 100%. And there also is the amount which is being recalculated if you are making some modifications on the line level, changing the quantities, rates, if applicable. For now, this is really a nice example where 4 lines of the PO were directly matched with 4 lines of captured data from the PDF bill. However, we still have that extra 5th line, which is not yet built, as you see. So there are the options you have. In this particular use case scenario, you could opt by adding this line as expense. We are following the fallback value. So if, for example, on the vendor, you have selected under financial a GL account, we would follow this logic. Or eventually, if you decided you would like to process this line as item, you have also that option, and you could therefore select it from here. And in that case, it would be added as an extra billed item. I still would like to process it as the expense line. So I have deleted it by bin icon, and I've edited it again. So as you see, the accrued expenses should be hit by it. As I'm happy with the bill, I will just hit on submit. We will wait a moment to update this NetSuite bill page. And currently we still see under items 4 lines. However, under expenses, 1 extra expense line has been added. The quantities and rates are on 0, so there is no modification in the total amount. When the user is really happy with the vendor bill, they could just easily save it and continue with the flow. However, we know that not each and every vendor bill is as straightforward as this one. And that's why I would like to introduce you the other example. Let's have a look at it right now. So the second scenario I've prepared for you is this nice vendor bill. Both of them are linked to the vendor VeloVelip. So it will be beneficial to also remind you what is the current setup of a 3-way match on the vendor record. So we do have quantities and rate set up for thresholds, for fixed amount, and for quantity we have tolerance of 1, and for rate 5. Going back to my bill. So the same is applicable. You would review the bill as such, and on the first glance, we can constate that the PDF vendor bill contains more lines than the NetSuite bill recommendation as such. And this is really due to the fact that you might have some differences, of course, between the PO and the PDF bill. And the usage of our 3-way matching pop-up will help you to tackle this. So the user, in this case, constate that we have multiple lines on the NetSuite bill page, which are already matched. However, 1 line remains unmatched. They would go to the 3-way matching. And we see that this particular vendor bill look really differently because we have much more colors used in here. Regarding the progress bar, we've already tackled that. But when we look on the line level, we see that from the purchase order lines and build lines, we have already these 5 lines and 5 items matched. When you look on the left-hand side, we have here blue question marks, which means that the tool is directly indicating you what is the matching criteria based on which the PO line has been linked with the build line. So the first line is indicating that it was matched based on the item name. We have here the green check mark, which means that the match is perfect and there is not really that much a user should do. You might realize that there is also a little flash. When you click on it, we will see that multiple lines from the bill has been linked to this one line, meaning that we also support grouped build lines if the values are the same. So on the PDF bill, there were multiple lines indicating the same item. The rate was exactly the same. So the tool added it to this one item. The total quantity is there recalculated, and a user, if needed, could work with it. However, as we're content with the result, we will leave it as it is. The second line is also matched based on the item name. However, we see that in the quantity, we do have a 31 value circled in blue. When you hover over this element, you will see that a quantity of 31 is billed, while 29 is captured, meaning that as per the setup, if you remember on the vendor, we had a certain threshold set up on quantities, which was to 1. However, as this value is not within the threshold, the tool therefore inclines to populate the PO value, but the user still can adjust it to the 29 as indicated on the bill. When we continue, we have therefore the line number 3, which has been matched also based on the item name. However, we have their discrepancies because the quantity is circled in red. What is happening? So quantity of 22 is billed while 11 is purchased, meaning that maybe the vendor did bill something wrongly, or there was some miscommunication in between your purchasing department and the vendor as such. So what are the options? Or you would, again, modify the quantity in here in this use case. However, the rate probably would not match. Or you could decide, because you know that there is another item which was not billed, and probably a vendor, if you confirm it with them, billed you wrongly different article than it's supposed to be. So you still have the chance to unlink the matched line and to link it with the adequate line from the PO manually. So this has been done. Now you see that we are billing 22, and this line is also built on the PO. And then final 2 examples. So the line with ACC 101 has been linked. However, for this one, our tool used the splitted value from the description, because when we open up the article in our global search, we will see that it contains only one value, the item name number code, where on the bill as such, we do have the inscription of the full article. So our tool is able to split the description into segments and to consider one segment for the matching. So I will just go back to the original state when it was matched, and we see that we can continue. And the final line I wanted to mention was this ACC 106, where the tool was matching not based on the item name or code, because there was no match. However, the match has been found based on the PO line quantity and rate. As we see, we're happy with the bill. So the progress bar is on 100%. I, as a user, could click on submit, and the process would continue. So now the changes are being updated. The user, when they are happy with the results, they can click on save, and indicating here the acceptance reason, because if you remember on the subsidiary, we've opted for that option. So they could indicate in here the reason, hit on save, and then continue with the saving. As it might result in a longer time of creation, I'd like to show you one bill which has been already processed, and this free image summary is there. So in this queue, I will open up another vendor bill. just to show you the three-way match summary, which is also coming with our ZoneCapture three-way match. So in here, we see the acceptance reason indicated by the user upon saving. And also you see the summary of all the lines where the tool is highlighting the lines which were outside of the thresholds, or there were some differences. And these fail lines could be eventually be an indicator for the approver if, for example, you might have some processes to work with them. And as already mentioned, as our ZoneCapture three-way match is compatible with zone approvals three-way match, if perhaps you are already using our application of zone approvals, you could create adequate matrix for this, and based on the failed lines, the approval could be triggered, and again, the final approver could approve or reject the transaction. I believe that all these features are really new and could be very handy for your companies. I've already referred to it, so if you decide to discover it from your end, of course, field level helpers are there, but also other sources of information such as university or a knowledge base, what will be shown directly by Anastasia. So thank you very much for your attention right now.
Thank you so much for the demo, Barbara. So just before I go ahead and show you, just like mentioned a bit ago, the where you can find all of the resources regarding the three-way match and ZoneCapture and all of the other apps, let's just do a quick wrap up. So important takeaways today. What do we bring with the new three-way match feature? More visibility with less manual work and having all the relevant info in one screen. The ZoneCapture three-way match provides the user with many different configurations options that can also be set on different levels. The match summary will provide an auditable information source after saving the bill, and this summary can also be used as a base for your approval logic in Zone Approvals three-way match. Also compatible with auto processing and e-invoice processing via ZoneCapture. So, how to get this feature? So if you are already an existing ZoneCapture customer and you are using purchase orders and the three-way match, you can also simply go to help.zone.com to our support page. We will be landing here. Now, the support hub. You can either open a support ticket from here, but if you scroll down, you will see the gallery with all of our apps. Let's click on ZoneCapture. Let's go to using the application and then three-way match new. So you will have in here from general information to how to set it up, matching options, explanations, etc. And last but not least, if we just jump back to our page and scroll all the way down, you will also see the Zone University home here. And in here, besides the Suite App material content, you can also find ERP and NetSuite trainings and micro trainings that could be beneficial for you and for your team. So feel free to join us here. We look forward to seeing you make some progress in here. Last but not least, I told you we have exciting updates. So Justina, what is the product team up to and what are you cooking for ZoneCapture?
Yeah, so indeed, we constantly work to improve our product. So at this moment, the development forces are focused to introduce generative artificial intelligence into ZoneCapture. So GenAI is integrated to help you in populating header and line level custom fields automatically. We will also use it for vendor and subsidiary selection for scanned PDFs. So we strongly believe that power of GenAI will bring a lot of benefits to your daily work with ZoneCapture. Another big feature that we are working on at the moment is vendor portal. That will be an external portal allowing, for example, to safely onboard your vendors. So definitely you can expect further enhancements coming soon in the upcoming releases. But yeah, we are definitely excited about providing you Gen AI in the upcoming release.
This is awesome, pretty exciting. So as a customer, stay tuned, as you can expect an invitation for our December webinar soon on how to revolutionize your NetSuite accounts payable process with generative artificial intelligence. So keep an eye out in that inbox invite. And now, so questions and answers. Throughout the session, we had Justina answering your questions in the chat. I believe there are still some questions open as well. It's been great to see that you participated. So feel free to still drop any questions you might have. We are still going to be here for the next couple of minutes. And Justina, I wonder if there are any questions that did come up as a highlight that you would like to go over, perhaps.
Yeah, just checking a list of still open questions. There is one interesting about the matching algorithm one more time. So the question about the item number, does it need to be exact number on the PO comparing to PDF? So just to shortly recap our matching algorithm, there are of course multiple steps that we are performing to try to find the match between captured data and PO data. But to highlight at this moment what we are taking into account, we are checking if item number, item display name code, vendor code, or description of the purchase order, any of this information is captured on the PDF. And as one example that Barbara highlighted for us, if we have more information on the PDF comparing to PO, that is also fine because we will split captured data into smaller pieces and also try to find exact match in that way. So if we do not have enough information on the item definition or description of the PO line, then we will go through another round of matching also based on captured quantity and rate, and as a last resort, captured rate. But still, if we are not able to find a match because your naming convention inside NetSuite is completely different than naming convention on the PDF coming from the vendor, I believe you as an end user need to somehow know which line matches which one. So then we have this easy solution with drag and drop that also Barbara showed us. So you can do that quickly manually. And one more open question I see, can the tool automatically remove the lines that are not matched? So at this moment, we are not removing lines from the vendor bill proposition. There will be just highlighted in blue and quantity will be set to 0. The reason for that is pretty practical because the moment we remove the line, you will not have an option to bring it back because based on native NetSuite behavior, we will break the link between this PO line and vendor bill. So we need to bring it to the vendor bill so you have visibility that the line is still coming from the PO, but the quantity is set to 0, so it won't be billed. It will not affect your vendor bill. And for clear visibility, it will be highlighted as blue. So I think that's all what we have time for, I believe, Anastasia.
Perfect. So I see that we still might have a couple of questions left. So just to make sure that we get back to you on anything that is still coming through, we will be reaching out back to you. And yes, if you still wish to reach out to us, please do not hesitate to do so. Feel free to contact us through suiteapps@zoneandco.com. If anything, we will make sure it reaches the right person in our team. And as your account manager, also feel free to reach out to me, Anastasia @zoneandco.com. Thank you everyone for attending. We hope to see you in the next session. And yeah, have a great day and a great week ahead. Bye-bye.